Hello everyone, welcome back to our Algebra 2 class. Today we are going to continue our conversation about this unit, exponential function and logarithmic function. Today we're actually going to go back to revisit exponential equation we discussed before. So first, let's have a quick warm-up. Let's check this equation here, 3 to the x plus 1 power equal to 27. And if you do remember, we actually mentioned when we solve this kind of equation, the most important part we are going to focus on is to have the same base. So when we have a same base, of course, exponents should be the same. So that's why when we are going to convert two sides to be the same base. Now I have a same base. Now I can just easily to solve this. And like a regular equation, we can just easily to get the answer. So now, the reason we revisit this one, because sometimes the reality is not so ideal. Sometimes we have to face a situation is like this. Let's check this equation. If you do pay attention to the equation, you notice that this is 4x, 4 to the x power equal to 100, and we know if we want to change the same base, then we have to work on how can I change 100 to be something 4 to some power, which actually in reality it's just not possible. So what can we do? In this case, we actually come to use our new tool as we introduced recently, which is logarithm. The log, as we mentioned, the purpose of log is the most important part of this new function, new operation is actually look for exponents. So we know the x here, since this is an exponent, so we can easily write this equation as log 400. And this equation actually means 4 to what power is 100. This is actually what we mean. So now I can just easily to use a calculator to work on our calculation. Remember, as I mentioned before, please make sure you use the document I provided before. If you do not have this kind of calculator, you can definitely to choose the link to set up the new calculator on your device. It can be on the phone, it can be on the computer, it can also be on the iPad. So please choose the right link to your proper device. So this one, since we need to find x equal to log 400, we can just type this as log 400. For the ones, if you do want to use a regular base, we are going to use math. And you just go to the very bottom, you will see log base, and then click enter. So the one blinking cursor here is going to be for the base, and then use the arrow, go to this 100, you will see equals 3.32, and we can just keep this, let's see, rounded to the nearest tens, it's going to be 3.3. If your calculator doesn't have this log base, the one you see, remember what I mentioned before, I can just easily use change base formula. I can use log 100 divided by log 4. I change this one to the base as 10. So every single calculator have this log, so I can just rewrite it as log 100, and then close parenthesis, divide log 4, close parenthesis. So you will see they will have exactly same value. So if you do not have same log base as I showed there in your calculator, if you do not have that mode, then don't worry, you can still use change base formula to solve it. So let's do one more practice. So this one says solve the following equation and run your final answer to the nearest hundreds. As we see here, if we want to change to the same base, 50 is not going to be doable because no way we can find a 6 to some power to 50. So in this case, we are going to rewrite the whole equation as log. So since x plus 3 is a whole exponent, I'm going to put this and the log 650. Some students probably want to rush to type this in the calculator, but let's just, minus 3 for both sides. So I know the final x is going to be log 650 minus 3. So I'm going to type the whole thing in the calculator. So it's going to be, again, go to math, and go to the log base. And this time it's going to be log 650. Do not forget to move the cursor out of the parentheses and then minus 3. So the final answer is negative 0.8166. And since we need to round it to the nearest hundreds, we can just write down the answer as equals negative 0.82. Because this is a 6, I'm going to round it up to get negative 0.682. Okay, so that is how do we use log to solve this kind of equation. We actually have one application problem we can use to solve real life problems. So in the second video, we are going to work on some real life problem and use this new tool log to solve that problem. See you soon in the next video, everyone.